all the main agenda items here. Okay, so there's our welcome, and oh yes, I almost messed it up again. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start with the flag salute, and Deborah, would you please lead us in the salute? She's a DNC member and a director. So if you can, will you please stand?
Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start with the adoption of the consent items, and what this is all about is, if you look at those, I think 5 or 6 things, we will unanimously right now, if you will, accept the agenda, except that there is a quorum, I think so, accept the general meetings from the last meeting, a motion to adjourn, and then the treasurer's report that I will put up here in just a moment. Okay, do I have a motion for that? Okay, Stacy Holmes has made the motion, and now I need a second. Okay, second is from James or Jim Bass. Okay, thank you very much. Those are the areas that we cover. And a reminder that each club has its own geographic area so that we can do the work within our area and we don't overlap. This is a great quote from Doris Blessing, and because it is International Women's History Month. Okay, so whatever you're meant to do it now. Conditions are always impossible. I think we can all relate that one right now. The Senate handout has lots of details. We have so many details that I couldn't get them on the PowerPoint. That's the best thing to keep an eye on. Okay, I already did that. All right, this is our treasurer's report. We're doing well, and remembering that all the money that we collect, like all of this here tonight for the pie, and then the other pies that you will be buying at the end of the evening, and the membership, and all of those things, they go towards our candidate recruitment and support. That's what we're here for. And as we all know right now, the 5.2. Right now, what candidate are we working on to replace? There is city council, and we need money to help support it. Okay, so here's my report. Some of you might have seen a gentleman when you the he had security written on there. Okay, Kenyon Dems have decided to hire him for our meetings. Just to make sure that there's no hanky-panky, there's no troublemakers. Are there any people in the audience that attended the Planned Parenthood fundraiser last week? Okay, so you know what that was like. About 4 people stormed the event, yelled and screamed. The police had to take them down. There was no violence involved. Just yelling and screaming. So if a few people came in here right now yelling and screaming, started going up and down, do you see how that might cause some problems? So we want to make sure that nobody gets hurt. There's no stuff that goes on. So if anybody sees anything, Eduardo was walking around throughout the entire meeting. He walked hard and looked back there. He's going to be surveying the areas just to make sure, and they're a pretty good spot in the trouble. And we will have that at every one of our meetings now. Okay, raise your hand if you celebrated Pie Day. Anybody? clean this all up. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you are attending one of our meetings for the first time, will you please raise your hand? Wow. People feel welcome. We want to make sure that they come back, and we want to make sure that they join us in our activities. So right now, if you will kind of look around your areas, even if it's not one of the people that raised their hand, will you please introduce yourself and say who you are and what city that you live in, and remember that at the end of the meeting. We want to bring all of okay, and then we have and all of our people who are running in the 71st were elected, so we are going to have good representation. Okay, now we have a lot of activities, so please have a look at your agenda here. Anybody been following what has been going on with Capistrano District Trustee Judy Bullock? Yeah. Well, I love you guys, so you can stay on it. Well, unfortunately, she has just made a major mistake. And she is a trustee in area number 7. And that is that's the Canyon Dems area where we elect candidates. And her major misstep this week from the data, while talking about the book James, very easily rolled off her tongue. Now, admittedly, she kind of, was praising the novel, and then she went down the dark alley. And yes, very, very easily use the N-word. Yes. Yes. So on your seat is a yellow piece of paper that gives you all of the details of what went down. The video, you can go to hear it. Don't have to take that word of it. And how you can contact all the other trustees. Now, please keep in mind the school board can do nothing about it. I mean, the school district can do nothing about it. She is an elected official. The only people that can do anything about it are her voters. And she can get pressure from her peers, but she does, nobody can, make her resign or make her do this. So we have to put the pressure on her. All right, so if you will please follow with that. And then last meeting, remember we had Vicky Soderberg here? Yeah. Well, she is back this evening as a member in the audience. She has put together this yellow flyer. So after the meeting, if you have follow-up questions or want to know more about it, or the ins and outs of the group is working, please talk with Vicky Soderberg, and she will be glad to talk with you more about it. Okay, now we have some okay, we're trying to get some in. So our Dems are having to do that on our behalf. So, a group, not them, but another group, from my understanding, is a labor group, a combination of labor groups, have gotten rope cars to come down from the 17th congressional district, and he will be in Anaheim Sunday, March 23, and you can go on Mobilize, to sign in. How many of you have used Mobilize? Okay, easy peasy. Google, put in Mobilize, click on Mobilize, and then if you know, don't see your event in the search bar, just put whatever you're looking for, and it will come up and you can easily sign in, okay? Now, another one, this is a town hall with Richard Garcia, a congressman, from the 42nd, on Saturday, March 29th, and this is an event planned by the DPOC. It is an event where they are trying to do their best to get representation down here in the South County. So they really are hoping to get a location here, but it's really, really hard. Everything is booked up. Murray's booked up. All the cities are booked up. Even the schools, contact the schools to try to get something at one of the big stadiums. So it's a working process, and it's not exactly down here. We'll do our best. And also on your sheet is some information about the Great American Write-In, and how many of you have participated in that? I think a lot of you have, yeah. Okay, it's gonna be in Irvine. Scores of people are sponsoring it and have different. Oh, Santa. Okay. In Santa Ana. Okay, and scores of people are, you have a piece of paper, are sponsoring them. And DPOC, Democratic Party of Orange County, is also having a table there. If you go to that table, they will give you all of the supplies, yep, things for young Kim. So I want to encourage you, if you go to that, to go to the DPOC table so that we can even get more items. And the fight for our health care. Do you know anybody that's using Medicare or Medicaid? And you might have family members, disabled people and things like that that are on the California relief, which is called Medicaid. Well, as you've been hearing, yes, there's a lot of the attempt to dismantle that, take it down. So there's a fight for our healthcare phone bank coming in. So if you will look at our latest newsletter, it tells you how to participate in that. And the interesting thing and the good thing about it is there's a person that you're going to be connected with during the phone banking, and that person will automatically dispatch the caller. Okay, so if I call Stacy Holmes and I say, Stacy, or do you want to make some calls? And Stacy said, sure. And then Stacy calls young Kim, it automatically will get patched in. Because I'm sure you've had the thing where you tried to call, so your lawmakers these days, and it's like, oh, the email is full, or the voicemail is full, or whatever. It's going to be dispatched in, so you're sure of leaving your message. Okay, with that, I think we're ready for some committee report. Oh,
About the demonstration.
we don't have anything planned.
Yes, there's a demonstration tomorrow. Well,
No, we do not have anything planned on it. No. Yeah. Okay, so committee reports, we're going to start with Anita and Audrey, so come on up. Anita, where are you? Oh, maybe she's in the hallway. Okay, next up will be Ann and then Louise, so they're actually almost ready to go. You're up. I'm sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm looking up here. I don't know what's going on. I'm the new membership chair, and so far we have 436 altogether members and visitors.
Very excited about that. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is so great. And we're growing. I think we're gonna get a bigger room. April?
May, yes.
Yes. And so we're gonna change the time to 7, but anyway, we're gonna get a bigger room, so we'll have to be able to get mid baby. You come, but that's okay. We love you anyway. We want you to come. So anyway, I wanted to introduce Audrey, and she's outside too, real quick. She's my co-chair on my right arm for everything, and is really ultimately the leader. We all know this. I'm not going to give her up because she's so great. And so I wanted to introduce you to Audrey.
Oh, hi, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. We're so excited. And I'm helping Anita, and we still have room to help volunteer sign-in sheet for membership committee. Working our phone tree with short-term commitment, or coming and helping at the general meeting, or as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. But anyway, I just want to give you that great news and thank you so much. You have a great night.
Okay, so there's the breakdown of our numbers, and there might be a little few numbers off here and there. You know why? Every day we get more numbers. We can hardly keep up with what's going on. You can see that it's growing it quite a bit. Okay, so now, and
Well, thank you, everyone. I am I'm doing now the community outreach. And for those of all you guests tonight, which is wonderful to see, raise your hand if you are a guest. Okay, great. So for all of you, community outreach, we try to do a collection every month for a nonprofit in the Orange County area. So we can to demonstrate belief that we should help those who have less than us, not make richer, but help those who are struggling. And so thank you for all who donated books to the Silver Hour Marketplace this month. I have a huge album of them. And next month we're going to do the Orange Good Foundation. They need hygiene kits, and they make hygiene kits. They give out 100 a month to use. And they need full size items, things like razor blades, tampons, deodorant. They do not need shampoo and conditioner. They said they got a whole big donation for that, so they do not need that. But other things, the things that will be in their newsletter, will be on there for you to donate for next month. Okay. I'm gonna say something that has nothing to do with my job, but I just hope that all of you here tonight take all this energy that you are putting into protesting and getting excited about the federal government, which is certainly justified, and you continue to put all that energy into local government, city halls, because I know it seems like small potatoes compared to what's happening at the federal level. However, it all starts here. And if you don't be concerned and more concerned about who's on your city council and who's running for your city council, this is what's happening at the time. And so I'm overstepping, I know. But I just hope that you can transfer this energy also to the local level when we're asking you to step up to do that. Thank you.
okay, Louise, you're up. Okay, this is just information about the field team, a QR code from their overall program. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, and this is good. Okay, I'm all set. Hi, y'all. You know all that energy you have when you yell at the news? Well, now you want to do something about it.
Okay, so we are going to be walking in Laguna Hills, where we don't have as many members. How many people are in here from Laguna Hills? See, we need to get people here from Laguna Hills. We have a real serious problem. It's like this dark space in our own territory. So we're going to Laguna Hills. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have a meeting on April 25th, which is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Any member of the club who's interested in learning about how we get out and reach voters directly is welcome to come. Even if you're not sure you want to volunteer, you just want to hear about it, that's fine. The meeting will be here at the Murray Center, and you do need to RSVP. Tell me where you go to RSVP. Mobilize, yes. So you look at your newsletter, if you sign in, if you're a guest and you haven't done it yet, and you want to get our newsletter, you just go to our website, enter your name and your email, and you will start getting our newsletters, okay? So we do have a cap on that, of, I believe 100 people. So if you want to go to that, you need to RSVP. Okay, and then we're going to have a rally in Laguna Hills so that people know on May 3rd that the Democrats are coming. It's going to be like all reveal rights sit down. We're coming, we're coming, we're coming. We're going to be knocking on doors in precincts on Saturday, May 17th. And we're going to be walking single family houses, no, not too many hills, not too many Milledale, and no apartments. So it's really easy to do. And this is about practicing to get back in the rhythm of this. And instead of just dropping literature on doors, if somebody enters the door, we're going to do something revolutionary, we're actually going to talk to them. Because if you really want to turn out people to vote, which we need Democrats to do, we could have won that last election if all the Democrats turned out. But we have a lot of Democrats who voted on the couch, didn't count. And now, guess what? They're the ones loud, they're yelling the loudest about what the problems are. So we're going to get out there, we're going to rally, and then we're going to walk. And then we're going, as we walk, we're going to invite all of the people that we talk to a house party on May 31st. Okay, so we're already writing postcards. How many of you have been writing postcards already? See that? We're going to have 5,000 postcards done shortly. And then when we get ready to walk, we're going to need 54 walkers. Because we're going to send 2 people together and we're going to cover 26 precincts. So if you haven't done it already, you can sign up by going to that QR code. But I know, like, some of you are like me. Oh, no codes, I don't do both. I'll walk, but I don't do both. So, where's Carol? Carol, my buddy here, is going to pass out pink forms where you can sign up on the pink form. And when sign up, put your name on here and put the little pink form in the basket, and we will be in touch with you. Okay? So if you sign up on the QR code, you're on a form, and the members of the field team planning committee will be in touch. Yes.
Are you only knocking on registered Democrats?
Yes. This walk is only for registered Democrats because it's like we want to round up, you know, all of the Democrats are kind of sleeping with the hills, okay? And then when we walk later, we'll be walking to high value, no party preference voters as well as Democrats. But this time it's only the Democrats. So, you know,
Do we tell them what high value? Say high value.
it means no party preference voters who always go and usually they assume vote Democrat. And we know that because we use a database called PI and it marries together voter registration data and marketing data. So we can pretty well guess or predict who those NPTs are. They're really Democrats, but they just, well, you know, I don't believe in politics.
You know, so they don't wanna sign up for whatever. But then they go and they vote. And so. Okay, God bless, we want to vote. Right? So, Lord. Okay, any other questions? We need you. So come to the training session on, the 26th. And then we'll get out and rally in Laguna Hills. They'll see us there. We're going to text all of the voters that we're knocking on the doors before we get there, so they'll know we're coming. So we're trying this new thing where it's like building a layer cake. Okay, so we have all these layers. And it's gonna be fun. We're gonna see how it works, and then we'll refine it and start doing it in the rest of the district. Okay? Thank you. Great, thank you.
So, I want to remind you that on this agenda tonight are the plethora of dates and times that were like rapidly off here. So you don't have to remember this. If you look back at the agenda. And to kind of follow up on what Louise was talking about, the Norman Murray event at the county, it's all about learning the different things about the strategizing, the kind of behind the scenes events. Like, how do we find the voters? How do we map this stuff out? So it's a really good learning tool, and to learn the different, you know, kind of the vocabulary and how it's done. It's not really a mystery, it's like anything else, but learn how to do it. So I strongly encourage you to go to the Murray Center on April 26th, 46th, and sign up to do that. Now, if you look on the back of your agenda, you will see at the bottom is the QR code that Louise was talking about, that is up here. And it's also on your agenda where you can sign up for that event. You just point your camera at it and then click the little yellow box that's down, the little tiny one, and leads you magic to the form that you can sign up. Okay, so Marty, are you here? There she is. So let's hear it for the fundraising that gave us our dessert tonight. And then remember, you're gonna pick up a pie before you leave on your way out. Wow! This is amazing. I almost did something I didn't do. Okay, so we have a program called Sustaining Donors. Now, sustaining donors are people who are able to give a little bit extra beyond what they pay for the dues. So sometimes it might be you might write us just a one-time check of $100 or more, or you might give us $5 a month, or $10 a month, or $150 a month. But it's a little way of increasing the amount of money that we have to spend on getting candidates elected. So, our sustaining donor program so far. The number one. Oh my goodness. Well, we've got about 70 donors, as I recall, and about $3,200 already. So thank you if you're a sustaining donor, and people are making a big difference. And I have no idea what's going on. Okay, last month we did change. Thank you all who participated. You gave us your nickel, dimes, and quarters and a couple of pennies, and we did $195. Thank you. Easy way of making almost $200. That was terrific. And yeah, well, we're going to try and do change for change once a quarter. So you'll have an opportunity to get a little jar on your dresser that might start changing. Was using quarter kind of using that kind of
yeah, once a quarter. Once a dollar. Okay, so next month, well, thank you for everybody who ate pie. That was a great thing. Did you like the pie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ran out of coffee, but you guys really were pushy. So next month we're going to do an April Fool Day. I know it'll be way after April Fool, but you know, I still got my leprechaun leggings on. It's okay. So we're gonna have grab bags. They're gonna be $5 each, and each one is gonna have something in it that's worth at least $5 and probably more. And that would be fun. You wanna know what it is? You give us $5, we give you a May, pizza and soda. So come and have dinner with us. Hopefully by then it'll be really nice outside, we'll have it outside, and we won't have to interfere so much with what's going on, but we weren't sure what the weather was gonna be, so we'll be pie inside. Okay, and we got our ice cream social already scheduled, and it'll be right here in the other patio where we used to have all of our events. And that will be 2 o'clock. Okay. 1:30 when we have to be here on the committee, so that we'll just. We can't go until 2 o'clock, or else we'll be having rest. Okay. Oh, I have one more thing.
Silent auction.
Oh, yes, we do have our silent auction basket. We got a couple of really nice bids, but if you are interested, come on. And some very cool other stuff. We've also scheduled a candidates forum, that'll be in July. And we've also got, something new, we're gonna do a hoedown. We're gonna learn line dancing, and we're gonna have chili and do country kind of stuff in October. So keep those things in mind. And, thank you for being so generous. All of this goes to electing. Everyone coming. Thank you.
Okay, now for Andy and Cindy and Kathy and AJ will come on up, and following the agenda, we'll start with Andy. Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Cindy Ashley and her team, because Cindy Ashley and her team, all the people from them, I want, Patty, okay. Who else was there? Janine, I was. Come on up, come on up. If you were at the RSM City Council meeting fighting for the Boys and Girls Club, come up here. These people were so hard to make that happen, and unfortunately, every council felt it was better to have a museum in the room rather than a Boys and Girls Club. So the community really doesn't have it, and the children in the community don't have it. Maybe we'll talk about that in a bit, but I just wanted to share something funny with you. The room was rowdy, but there was a lot of talking going on, and this nephew ran up to the podium and started to talk, and everybody said, "Look, you can't, you're out of order." And I said, "Oh, you're out of order, you're out of order." And they made her sit down, and then on the way out, this wonderful lady walked up to her and said, "I want to cover you when I wake up in the morning." Now she's never living that down. When we get up in the morning, we have to look at it.
Now, while we're waiting for Cindy, another thing that Cindy was able to do is she is doing everything she can to keep in contact with the media. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to get the media to hear your story. It's very, very difficult. So she made a crack. She has convinced the Voice to run an article on the Boys and Girls Club at RSM. They interviewed her. They quoted her. They quoted the Canyon Dems. So she got us out there in print. So thank you, Cindy. Now she said,
can I just say something, Janet? I just wanted to tell you all that when you become a member, you automatically are put into your city group. And Kathy, Cindy, and I'm Lake Forest, Cindy's RSM, Kathy's Mission Viejo. I also handle Laguna Hills, but I'm looking for a representative to take that on. So if there's anybody here that will do it for me, please raise your hand.
now you know why the field team is over there minding Laguna Hills. We'll find the leader over there.
Hi, everyone. If you look at the Sunday newsletter, to the right of the article, for all the details. But thank you. Um, yes, I do know. Yeah, I'm just going to do this, so no, I'm holding. Anyway, the Voice of OC is a wonderful online civic, paper that you can just get a daily email for free, so everybody should be doing that, and if you like it, it's sometimes, what I want to say about this group is that, who wants to go sit at city council meetings and pay attention to a lot of the awful people we have in our local government? Well, the newsletters of the focus group put out, we kind of summarize what's happening for you and tell you what you can do to get involved. What I want to emphasize tonight is the community that I have gotten by getting involved in that group. We are such a wonderful group of people who are active. So, come for the activism and change, but you'll stay for the community because it's really a wonderful group of people you'll meet. So I encourage you, when you read your newsletter, if you're in one of those cities, then do what they say. What they say, come out to the city council meeting, come out, and you'll meet some of the best people you want to meet in your town. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's a review of the different names that you provided the focus group. Do you want me to go? I do. Okay. Hi, nice to be over. How many of you here in this meeting? How many of you here if you have gone to a city council meeting? How many of you have gone to a city council meeting? That's not enough. So we have to influence the next city council election. The Voice of OC did a great job of reporting on our city council members who extended their own terms illegally. We have the hero of the story right here. And Judy Pike's son, another hero. These are people who paid attention. Walt Lawson is Walt here. Walt Lawson is another hero. So these are people who actually paid attention to what was going on at the local level and brought it to the public's attention. We have another opportunity to influence our city council because of a background that I'm not going to give you. All of their terms are up in 2026, and they need to figure out how to stagger those terms. They have not announced this publicly. As far as I know, they have not discussed it in closed session. But I can tell you that those Republican members of the council are grooming people to run in the districts, especially the three that are going to be turned out, which are Trish Kelly, Brian Goodell, and my favorite, Wendy Butler. So what I would like you to do is start paying attention. I have a helper, Kristen Wilcox over here, who is helping me send out the announcement about the meeting. Kristen, the first meeting, at this first meeting, we had 8. 8, and then at the next one, 26. Okay. So I want to see that city council chamber look like this room. Filled with Democrats watching what their local government does for them. So the next meeting is a week from tonight. You'll be getting an announcement about all of those of you in Mission Health will be getting an announcement about the agenda. It comes out the Friday before the Tuesday meeting. And Kristen and I will try to send out a reminder. I want to see at least 52 people in that room. Okay? Promise? Okay. I'd like to introduce someone that many of you have already started to get to know. We have a new young leader in our group here that we're very excited about, JJ Galvez. And we're also going to start looking and incorporating and inviting and doing all kinds of wonderful things for the young members that are in our club. So there you go, JJ. Thank you for being here.
Cool, thanks, Janet. Okay, well, first thing I wanted to do was just provide a quick update on our rallies. We had, according to the DPOC, the largest rally so far in the county. About 500 people showed up outside of the meeting. So I wanted to thank everybody that supported in putting that together. Janet, thank you so much for helping me out in organizing that. Also to Cindy and all the communications that we put out there to promote the event, and the volunteers that signed up for signups and security. So we'll definitely need more support for the next rally. Just a couple things to point out. You know how we talk about Mobilize, but after an event, you might get, if you signed up on Mobilize, you'll get a text message or an email that says, how was it, brief survey. So people actually respond to those, and we learned some interesting things from people responding to those surveys. The biggest thing was, I think, something that I know I feel when I come to the meetings for Canyon Dems and see a full room of people, and that's it just people are energized. I think it's really reassuring to see that we're not alone, and that there's a lot of people out there that care about the things that we care about. And when we hear the cars honking and we see the large crowd, I think it's very energizing and motivating. So that's the number one thing that people talk about. People feel like they can do something about this. They feel agency. If anything, they just feel a way to let out some of the anxiety and some of the anger that we feel. So that's the feedback we got, and then we also got some good feedback on just the messaging for the event. People appreciated how specific we were in instructions for time. So that's something that we are going to be doing for future rallies. Is we know that the themes are going to change depending on what the hot topic of the moment. But one through line, consistent through line that we're going to have throughout our process is going to be how does it all link back to young kids? Because one thing that we can have some impact on in this district is who our representative is in Congress. And in 2 years, when hopefully we're able to have elections again, we are going to do everything that we can to put ourselves in a position to flip that seat and put a Democrat in office. So that's going to be our consistent through line. And then with regards to our next rally, it's going to be May 3rd. Like Louise said, that's going to be supporting the Laguna Hills Initiative. The specific time and details to be confirmed, so we'll look out for that. And we'll also have a sign-making party date to be confirmed as well, but probably like a week before the event. So look out for information on that. And that's what we have so far, time for rallies, but look out for more information in the future. And then I just wanted to give a quick update on the Young Canyon Dem. So this is just really an initiative to try to foster community among younger members of the club, basically under 40-ish, 45-ish. So we're gonna have happy hour on next Thursday, the 27th, at 6 p.m. in Gamecraft Brewing in Laguna Hills. So if you fall sort of within that range, it's still 3 months for you, right? So everybody's welcome to come by and have a great just hang out. But yeah, make sure that you put in your information if you're not already a member, so that I have that info and I can make sure to follow up or email details. But that's about it. So thank you.
Get your children and grandchildren involved and tell them about this event over at Gamecraft. You know, text them, give you the information, tell them to get some friends together, and go hang out with JJ and some of the other members. It'd be a great opportunity.
Thursday, the 27th.
So picture agenda, please. Thursday. Okay, now where's Ted Cole? He's going to be introducing our speaker, Luis Alan. And he's gonna tell you all about it. There's a little bit of information on the agenda about it as well.
Good evening, County and Dan. Who wants to make young men old news? Well, I have a chairman sitting in the wing here waiting to come on and will tell us how to do it. We have our ways, we've done very well, but I'm about to introduce an old and good friend of mine, Luis Salman from the Democratic Party of Orange County. Dan Poli Sci from UCI in 2017. He knows more about local politics than I've forgotten. He was the former executive director of DPOC secretary for many years, and currently serves as executive director of the Orange County Labor Federation. And Labor and Democrats go together, like and soda, and Romeo and Juliet. And you know what we do? One up here. Thank you, County Dems, for having us this afternoon. I'd like to give a shout out to your board, also to my colleague, the director, Dorothy Ann Furnick, who stood up and ran the city council back in 2022, right? So you can see the difference that makes. I can see Gary Tepper and some of you that I know, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Before we get started, let's play a quick show of hands. How many of us feel scared or feel anxious about the so we need to do feel happy? How many of us cringe when we feel it? And how many of us are fired up to do something to make sure we take out time? And then we're going to talk about tonight about how the Democratic Party and House of Labor working hand in hand can not only take on the Trump administration's unlawful policies, but in the meantime do that. Our congressional committees accountable, and in 2026, take back to Congress and make sure we have better balance. I think the most timely comparison of what's happening today is 1932, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt takes office in the midst of a financial crisis, right? With fascism on the rise in Europe, with fascism on the rise in Asia, with Japan, right? And people were wondering if United States of America still believes in democracy, still believes in the rule of law. If you remember what Franklin Roosevelt told us on Paramount Racing Day was the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. And as citizens of the country, as folks who are engaged, we cannot let this administration, we cannot let young kids steal democracy from us. We have to fight for it because they know they're coming, right? If you not see the president defy the federal judge, right? They're testing the system, trying to see what's allowable. So they can say that I alone can fix it, right? Who needs democracy when one man can do it? But unfortunately for him, a little thing called the United States Constitution stands in the way, and a room full of activists like yourself who are ready to hold people accountable. So how do we do that? We're seeing the assault for democracy. We're seeing the assault on social security, medical, everything that we fought for and hold dear. And the way we do that is by building that solidarity and that power. I know in this election, our Vice President Kamala Harris, unfortunately for us, was not elected. However, due to the work that many of you did, with Dave Min and Derek Tran. They correct. They were vote. And because of you, the House of Representatives, yes, Republican majority, they have a one vote majority. Right? And that was because of the work that many of you did here in Orange County. So the Republicans are acting on a tightrope, right? If tomorrow a congressman goes to prison, dies, etc., right? The House can be in our hands. So we have to pressure because every single vote that Republicans cast, young kid will be the deciding vote for every single vote that will happen over the next 2 years. And we know that the next big fight is the budget reconciliation, right? To give you a timeline, I know a lot of you think you participating in the rally for her to vote against the budget resolution. I'm going to tell you the next 4 months leading up to the congressional recess in August will be key, right? Because we're going to push through the budget reconciliation bill that's $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for people that earn $1 million or more. How many of us are millionaires? I thought so, right? They don't really in this room pay your taxes. But these taxes are designed for us, right? To consult deduction cap, they're gonna stay. So that means that the actually big problems, right? They're doing this to fund taxes for the uber wealthy. And in exchange, they're gonna cut Social Security, they're gonna cut Medicaid, we're gonna cut veterans benefits, and we're gonna have to pay for the rich to get rich. So we have to make sure to let young kids know that that is unacceptable. And trust me, it works. How many of you all remember the town hall during Obamacare in 2010? Yes, remember how that got nasty for us? Well, we're not gonna be nasty, we're gonna be proactive. Right? And to give you an example of that, today we held a press conference in front of young Kim's office, we had a diet, a couple of those dressed like hospital patients. And we said, this is what's gonna happen, we got our safety. We got to keep pressuring these folks publicly. I know the club is working with the Democratic Party locally, working, trying to work with individuals and other groups to make sure that wherever young Kim goes, if she would have a town hall will hook her. Right? She can't hide her. She's running. And if you know she's trying to say that she's a moderate, but I'm sorry, there was nothing moderate about trying to. I know, and there's nothing moderate about clapping for Elon Musk. Right? Our grandparents fought to defeat Nazis in World War II. We're not about to get the government into a new one now. Right? And that's what's going on with Elon Musk and his people. And we've got to keep pitting the Republicans on that, right? The corruption angle works for us. The American people do not want the government to be bought by billionaires. And what this government is doing with Doge and giving Elon Musk the keys to government is showing that the government is for sale. Right. So our message should be focusing on corruption, Social Security, and Medicaid. That's going to be the ticket for people to realize that we are the party of the working class. And that's where labor comes in. That's where you all use them. So in the past election, there's only 4 groups that actually voted for Vice President Harris in larger numbers or in the same numbers as President Obama. That was African Americans, people over 65. The LGBTQ community, and union members. Those were the only groups in America that if not only voted for the same margins, but in some cases increased their margins. Right? So if you want your job, you're 55 in your job. Right? Now we gotta make sure people under 55 do that. And the way we do that is by attending rallies. Believe it or not, social media works. I mean, how many of you have used Blue Sky or Left X, right? Yeah, if you look at X work, but my advice to you is we cannot speed information pipeline to the Republicans. Because if you notice what happens, they have people like Joe Rogan, other people who are parroting right we talk. They're making it seem like Social Security doesn't hire me. I'm sorry. I didn't get into it. Down right. The $1 billion that's spent debt and subsidies, now those are you want to talk government spending, not that. So that's what we have to fight back against Republicans' attack, because they're trying to distract us, right? Unfortunately for them and for us, they're attacking our trans youth, They're attacking LGBTQ plus youth, and we gotta stand up for them. But the way we stand up for them is by reminding people to vote with their pockets. Right? Eggs cheaper now than they were 4 months ago. Right? Is your retirement better off than right? Is the price of it is the your cost of living lower than it was 4 months ago? Right? And that's the sort of things that we have to keep reminding people that us as Democrats and Labor are fighting. We're fighting to hold the rich accountable. We're fighting to protect social security and Medicare, and we're fighting for economic justice for young people. Because that's another thing where Democrats, we gotta make sure that young people not only support Democrats, but vote for them. Because the worst thing that happened in this election, and I know you saw it in the news, right? So, young people shifted right, these folks shifted right. It wasn't so much people shifting right as much as people didn't get to vote. They didn't go up to vote because they felt that there was nothing at stake. And we're seeing that now. And that's why it's a golden opportunity for us as activists to be involved. Because those people that might have felt that there was no difference between voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, let me tell you, that way know the difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And as activists in this room, we have a golden opportunity. Because how many of us could be home doing something else, right? Well, we said to come on a Tuesday morning to a debt club meeting because we care. Right? And we don't like where our country's going. And the polling is starting to show that Americans are realizing that, hey, we've been looking. And I know, trust me, I know it's super difficult to say, see what happened? Yeah, right? I know there's a lot of anger, right? How can you vote for this? And look what happened. But if you really want to change the direction of this country for the better, we have to do it by engaging people and fighting our own inner urge to say, get home. Right? Because at the end of the day, we need those votes. And we need those folks to vote for our candidates. And if not, let me just Derek Trent. Right? There were plenty of voters who voted for Donald Trump and Derek Trent. Right? Don't ask me how that makes sense, but it happened. Right? And that's the sort of voters we have to go. Those voters are going to make the difference in the midterm. I know somebody had mentioned it was an election, but there will be an election, we're going to fight, and we're not going to let our democracy down. Because if we let Donald Trump crush our democracy, we have given up everything that the Constitution of our rights is trying to do. And if you notice, lawyers, Democrats are suing. And I know it's easy to kind of dismiss it, but the court system's working. And yes, I know Chuck Stewart pointed out this past weekend with the government situation, but also Chuck Stewart and President Biden, if it wasn't for their focus on federal judges, we wouldn't have that line of defense right now. Right? Training out federal judges are probably one of the fierce fusions between us and full factors in defense. All right, and so it's something that it's not talked about, but it's been important in helping us reach. So we got a couple of things to do, right? We got to keep demonstrating the word of the office, letting you know you're going to have a power. You're going to hear from us, right? And if you don't want to hear from us, you're going to vote. Another thing is mobilize with a local party, with your local club, which all of you are doing. And it's an amazing, over 500 members. I mean, congratulations to all of you. Keep doing that because, yeah, you have one Democrat, I mean, city council in Nebraska, the lone voter reason among insanity. But that happened because one of you activated Brad one. We're gonna make sure she gets through one, we're gonna make sure the other two are not enough. Get that majority in council. The other thing too is we have a Democratic Party convention coming up in Anaheim, in California Democratic Party convention, the last week of May, last weekend, so that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can even if you're not a delegate, you can go. We have caucus meetings. So we have the women's caucus, the labor caucus, LGBTQ caucus, senior caucus, disability caucus. We're going to meet other Democrats who are fighting for the same things that you believe. I think one day too, we have the Young Democrats as well. The proud vice chair of the Young Democrats labor caucus. But we have our convention at the same time, and we're pushing to make sure we activate folks for 2026. Because also as labor, our rights are under attack. When you're attacking immigrants, when you're attacking LGBTQ rights, when you're attacking reproductive rights, you're not just attacking the Democratic rights, you're talking workers' rights. Because we fought to get those into our contract. We fought to get federal law that protects people not being fired on basis of their sex or who they are or who they love. And we're seeing this administration slowly trying to smash it. And so what we're gonna see, and we've been seeing it, almost 500,000 federal workers at this point have either been threatened with layoffs directly or have been laid off by the unlawful administration of actions of this administration. So we will be hosting rallies, fighting for these contracts. I'll make sure to share with your club. If you're able to show up and support, all that solidarity has, because those folks are also voters who also want to feel like, hey, the community has their back. Right? If you all notice, as part of the DOGE government efficiency BS that is happening, they're closing a Social Security office down in San Diego. But they're closing a VA office down in San Diego. So they're hurting all of us. Right? The so-called government efficiency is designed to punish for daring to say government should work for us. What a little concept, right? Who thought founding fathers, who told them to be different? They should tell them, they're governed by the people who government corporations, the way they're doing stuff. And together as a party and labor, we'll be that whole, right? Another thing we're doing is know your rights. Folks know about their rights, whether you're undocumented, a resident, visa holder, work permit, this administration is coming to you. And we're educating folks about their rights. If you're an attorney and want to volunteer for doing citizenship fairs, help us. We can work together because we can make new voters and those voters can vote in 2026. Every little bit that we do counts. And now I go back to the example of Derek Trent. Took us a month of counting it. And Derek Trent beat Michelle Steele. And we're going to make sure that those two folks win again in November. But we're also going to make sure that come January of 2027, the young kid will be referred to as former Congressman Young Kid. All of you, whether if you can canvass, if you can phone back, let your office know these cuts are impossible and are hurting us, or helping the candidate. If you can send postcards, let's do it. If you can text, let's do it. If you want to set up a packet of literature and reprimand it, let's do it. Each one of us has an opportunity to play a role here. Because it's not just about winning an election for Democrats. It's about saving our democracy. And we know that the president and his party, their only interest is in whatever the Cheeto would believe. Right? It's not in the interest of democracy, it's not in the interest of the Constitution. And that's what I want to leave with you all tonight. I know it's disheartening seeing the news. I know that every day, I know I do, because I get the New York Times on my phone, and every time I see breaking news, I'm like, oh, it's Trump administration doing that. Right? It's almost like a tired feeling, right? You wake up in the morning, you're like, what now? Right? But that, us activists, we can't let that defeat us. Right? Back to, like I mentioned earlier when I started, right? When FDR was taking place and taking office in 1932, people were really wondering, is democracy really going to survive? Right? And we're seeing the rise of far right, anti-Semitism in Germany, and people are saying the German model is the model we talking, right? Because look at their economy, look what's going on. And what that led to was extermination, genocide, and led to millions of people losing their lives because people decided that maybe democracy isn't worth fighting. Luckily for us, we have a president who believes in democracy. Unluckily for us this time, we don't have a president that believes in democracy. But we have people who do. And we're going to hold them accountable. And don't lose the hope, because they want us to do it. That's the easiest part. But we got to fight it. Because instead of January 2027, we're going to have a new Speaker of the House. Hopefully, not Hugh Jeffries, the Speaker of the House. In 2027, we'll have a Senate. So that comes 2029. We'll have a new president, her or him, we don't know yet, who will swear their hand on the Bible and say, I do, and get to work to not only fix, overturn the mistake of the last 4 years, but fundamentally make sure that what we say in the Constitution, what Abraham Lincoln described as the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, shall not perish from this earth, and we will have a better and just society. Thank you.
I want to underscore Louise's point within our club. Cindy and the communications team puts out a very detailed newsletter every week. Go on that newsletter to find the activities that Louise has been talking about. Louise right now is getting together the field team. Sign up to do work on the field team. JJ is organizing our rallies. Look out for things for JJ and the sign making and all of those things that we can do right here. All of those things will be sanctioned activities where we know you are going to be safe when you go out to those activities. There are some other, we have insurance. We send people out to our rallies, we have insurance in case anything happens. Other rallies that are out there, we send you out to some of these. We have no idea who's even organizing some of these rallies. The skirmish takes place. You know the police that actually come back to us as the promoter of the activity and say, you have to pay for what we incurred to solve that skirmish. For real. From the DPOC chair, Louise Hoffman. She's an attorney and she communicated that information to me. So all of the events that you will see on our website are going to be things that are sanctioned, whether it's coming from Cindy, whether it's coming from JJ, whether it's coming from Louise. So go there and keep looking at now. I'm going to ask you in just a minute who that person is. So I'll give you a second to remember that person's name. Okay, let's see, Margie, do you remember who you are?
Oh.
Let's get up, just one more minute so you can be dismissed. Okay. All right. Okay, so Jim and his wife Linda are her new friends. And Phoenix, who is your new friend?
My new friends are Dolores and Randy. Dolores is a retired teacher.
Nice to meet you, Mandy and Dolores. Anybody else want a quick name from somebody you met? Who did you meet? Barbara from Laguna Niguel. Thank you. Your name is Jeannie. All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Oh, we have one more. All right.